What does Bill Burr have to do with Doom Eternal? Entertainment. We love entertainment. We love comedy. So one day we found ourselves wondering why comedians are so damn funny, why their entertainment works. And we found some common ground that we explained ourselves using three concepts.
Mission 1, start!
The goal. We mean the ideas, the feelings that the communication aims to stimulate. Identity. What character the comedian chose to catch the goal. And communication. The strategy they chose to express all of that. Comedy is a powerful entertainment tool, able to convey simple as much as complex ideas. We'll dive on what the comedians focus on, the feelings and thoughts they target to make you laugh.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bill Burr.
Bill Burr looks for a connection with the audience through the daily problems we all know, and bringing on stage the surge you cannot have. He appeals to things that may drive nuts the ordinary man.
How many fucking towels do we need?
The world, problems, the extremisms, the contradictions, the lack of balance, also focusing on overcorrection that makes one faction looks like the opposing one, because they are both extremists and harmful to people, and he puts them down mocking those exaggerated and unreasonable behaviors.
You're part of the fucking problem! Get the fuck out, you know!
There's a huge difference between doing a joke about a rape and doing a rape. Okay, before we start...
Contrary to what you might think, Jimmy Carr doesn't mean to offend anyone. He only wishes to play with taboos because discrediting them can negate some of the grief those taboos are linked to. He brings on stage a playground where everything's allowed, where terrible, terrible things become small and unimportant.
These are just jokes, they're not the terrible things.
The show's identities obviously draw something from the comedian's own personality, but when they're on stage, the real person they are ceases to exist, while they become a character that's got its own identity that suits the goal and the show. In Paper Tiger, the character is a father, a husband, a simple, ordinary man. That being a man, he struggles to face emotions that are often repelled using rage, so as not to be judged by society and by the man he's been taught he has to be. Yet, as an ordinary man, he tries to be right and lovely to his family.
I gotta work on the temper. I'm gonna do it. You know, I got the kid now, and I don't want to pass it on to her. I have like a demon in my family tree. Like this fucking rage just keeps following us, and now I got it. My daughter, she's a little over 2 years old. She's yet to meet me yet.
Ginger is just a whisker away from Ginger Cunt.
On stage, he's an asshole.
Some offence.
He's like a kid, you know? He's just playing with the audience. That does what shouldn't be done, saying what shouldn't be said. His jokes are meant to be harmless, and the only purpose is to make you laugh, with no particular restraint or thought about it.
I need an attractive young woman for this next bit. You madam, can you see anyone?
We found out there's something more than simply goal and identity, because the communication strategies they use are well-integrated part of the show, that defines most of what they do and say, because once you get a good idea, you still have to convey it. Take Bill, he's your pub's friend. How could he sound like?
Look at it!
Thanks, Bill. He's loud, using gesture and shouting to roast his targets, to expose their weaknesses.
I'm sure that there's some feminists in the crowd right now feeling like they need to fucking put out a hashtag and be brave and speak out.
On the other hand, he looks sensitive when he speaks of his wife and daughter. He even looks worried that his defects could damage the people he loves.
I gotta tell you though, becoming a dad is the greatest fucking thing that ever happened to me, man. It really is. I don't have any jokes about my kid. And you're applauding my wife. She did all the work.
In the end, his communication is frank, straight to the point and unfiltered, reserving moments for anger and sensitivity as well, so that he looks compelling and honest.
I'm a man. I don't take a bath. You take a shower. Hose it off. Block out your feelings. Keep walking till you drop of a heart attack. Are you okay? I'm fine. I'm fine.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
I look like a puppet without the string.
Well, yes, he looks like a dandy, very clean, but this is just a strategy. Contrast is the key word.
Boy, can I suck a cock.
You see? He conveys the contrast through his exaggerated facial expressions and hand gestures. He interprets the joke itself, not what he feels. Indeed, he's heavily self-mocking, because he's not on a pedestal, to the point that the audience is sometimes allowed to even make fun of him. This is a playground, a place where the rules are nothing, where grief is weak.
This dark, ominous presence was being taken down and laughed at.
So, goal, identity, and communication. Sounds reasonable, but can these concepts really be applicable to video games too? We set up an experiment, choosing two of our favorite games, as different from each other as much as Bill Burr and Jimmy Carr, and this is what we found. The goal is what the game designer wants the player to feel, and it's likely to be what's more influenced by the personality of the game designer itself. It has to be simple and solid, appealing to the emotions and needs that you want to trigger in the audience. Then, the development and the mechanics can lead to a wide game, plenty of features. Watch out! If your game's too crowded, it'll become a mess.
I'm a hoarding specialist. Hey, let's see inside your locker, Stan.
What? Come on, it's not that bad.
Doom Eternal is a pure playground, where fun is king, and to do that, they snipe two concepts. Sheer performance, you'll have to be fast and accurate, not like that guy, and a chess-like approach, where every problem has a set of moves and solutions. The goal is not frustration, it's the joy of overcoming crushing forces, is to keep exploring and learning against all odds, in order to win the next battle. The keyword is a rebirth through tribulation. You may have noticed the goals are really simple and short, but that's a feature, not an issue. The meaning is simple, nonetheless these games grew quite complex. If you think of the game like a person, the identity is the answer to the question, who is this person? Is it introverted or extroverted? Is it flashy, rowdy, sad, funny? Also, we must keep in mind that games are trading goods, so these factors are definitely influenced by contemporary culture to be relatable, but the identity should be primarily defined by the goal and what you want to convey to the player. Doom Eternal is noise, strength, speed and muscles, like your favorite car. It's rich, over the top, it may look messy, but it's a handcrafted journey, with carefully planned encounters and challenges, featuring a bunch of new demons every now and then, new pieces with new moves, that you counter with brand new weapons. Look at this beauty. Its nature is over the top, gamey, legacy of its ancestors that were just games for gaming's sake. In the end, the world is big, strong and powerful. But you're the Slayer, and the only thing they fear is you. Pun intended.
The only thing they fear is him.
You're thrown in a hostile world, strong and mean, while you start small and weak. But... remember David against Goliath? The identity shapes the fighting style as well. It looks methodical, nearly ritual, as much as the world, once rich and glorious, now introverted, moody and suffering, yet it seems to be waiting for its hero to bring rebirth. This journey is epic, nearly mythological, made of environments full of story. Now that you know what your game wants and who it is, you need to figure out a communication strategy to best convey its identity. How do you show that? These concepts we talked about aren't closed boxes. They're interlinked, they communicate and fuel one another. While the concept of the game unfolds, they can be reciprocally influenced. Now, how loud can you be? Yes. Sound, colors, actions, shapes, cartoony style, everything makes the game enthralling. They chose short dialogues because they speak through actions. Narration and levels are linear, so that the level designers can focus on tuning the experience, to make you feel empowered and smash the enemies. Your power is constantly underlined by enemies and allies alike, to make you feel the man in the room, the powerful slayer.
Maybe he is a god. He is Doom.
Here I come. Oh, here I come.
You ever been ghosted by a girl? You sent her a message, you got nothing back, yeah? That one.
Elden Ring never speaks, not even when it really should, but they use every other possible form of communication to lead you to points of interest, to tease the secrets, to incite you to discovery. But it's up to you. Silent communication is mastered through art. The path is a metaphor for growth through hurdles. Thus the environments and the architecture speaks loudly of verticality and rise from the dark. Fog is a commonplace for lower ground, just to disappear when you rise to a higher ground, offering prizes and beauty, like a revelation. Prizes are another strong communication tool. Every road, every rise, every fight leads to some treasure, so that you're always pulled by every bait they lay. Also, contrary to Doom Eternal, they chose an open world, matching the need to let you lead the pace. You're empowered to make choices and to understand this fancy, magical world. These two games look diametrically opposite, but they actually have some common ground through their enforcement of a learn-by-doing strategy, leveraging frustration and uncompromisingly punishing the errors.
No, sir, I didn't like that at all. No, I didn't.
But that's a stimulus to master the game loop, leading you to be stubborn and capable, a powerful hero. What can we learn from all of this? Well, game design is a loop. Goal and identity are closely related, and they enrich one another, but the communication strategy too helps to shape all of the game. You must have a clear idea of who and what your game is, as well as how to achieve it. Plan deliberately, test your idea and update plans in a loop, until you find your game's way. Then, just stick to that. Many games crowd ideas from here and there, without a clear plan, just adding features because they're cool or trending. But if the game lacks direction, the results will be poor.
I like whatever you like. Will you touch it now? Did I do it right?
Games are products and entertainment, but there are art and communication too. You must find your way to express something and convey that effectively. Don't reinvent the wheel, don't blindly follow trends. Everything should fit the game design's framework. Games are not tactical AR-15. They should have only, but nothing less, than what is essential to develop and expand its core concepts, which may be a lot, or maybe little.
It is a phone. It's an object of power.
So, what about our game prototype? Yeah, we didn't exactly follow these rules. We were inspired by the feelings Doom Eternal gave us,
Spinning around like Leatherface.
but we didn't master the concepts of this video yet. Even if we were guided by the idea that everything should fit the purpose of the game, which is right, but a clear framework and better organization would surely have improved the result. We'll expand on our choices, the hurdles we had, and a ton of stuff we learned thanks to the Reaper in the next video. Now, our game is free, go try it!
Look at it! Look at it!
Is it interesting? Did we go off the race with this video? Let us know your thoughts, and see you next time!